Who dares to take lightly the name of the mountain? And who dares to deny its history? We've probably weakened over the years. But Hua Sect always goes with the king's love. All the time, that Hua Sect has retransmitted its energy and spirit through many generations and continue to share it across the province. I want to humble your request. Let's think about what that means to you. Everyone can feel the silence button inside of them. So I'd like to propose. This time the fat guy kept talking. It's a little lighter though. He points in the opposite direction and signals. Those who are willing to defer will be there. And the eyes won't be right here. But everyone is responsible for themselves. For my actions. Who decided to delay the repayment date will no longer be protected by the Merchant Alliance. Even if you can't multiply the loan. This fruit is who would dare to guarantee, I want to be a good person again. Now, please choose where you want to stand. The whole crowd started to howl. At first, it seemed uneasy to plead. Of the head as well as respect Hua Sect. But when it comes to benefits, AI doesn't like it. Even if you want to, it's hard to compromise. Everything seems to be arranged. After about 10 minutes passed, there's no one to change places. The fat guy laughed as if he'd brought this to a close. Immediately declared, "Look, Chief. Unfortunately, no one here is willing to delay." Suddenly, there's a step that echoes the movement. Short. A man who withdrew from the group of traders. Ask for debt and go to the side. Not someone else, but the owner. Who looked forward to the day, to earn interest and have a life of dreams. The teacher is still observing little by little. No more comments. They were horrified by what was considered an absurd act. "Hey, shopkeeper, what do you think you're doing?" And he said, "Don't look at me with that face. I know I'm doing something stupid. But that, you're not from the province, boss." Here, it's the look of someone who's grateful for his homeland. Because you have nothing to do with the mountain. You probably don't know. What does Hua Sect mean for Hoang Province? By the shop owner himself, half the children are the blood of this province. From a very young age. He's been infused with something called spice. The spirit of the people. Everyone who grew up in Hoang Province, we all heard the stories about the mountain. And they all heard me. You also have to go to the mountain to become the most powerful martial artist in the world. Ever since I was a kid. Even if he later became a farmer. Wide-eyed barefoot, but still holding a dream. And even when you realize they are not good enough to enter the mountain. They keep listening to the story. Hua Sect has protected this world Ra Sao. And Province C. Even though it's finally etched into their minds. The creditor looked at him with puzzled eyes. What the hell are you talking about all of a sudden? But the shopkeeper, there's no reason to think about self-interest anymore. I'm not the only one who grew up like that. So did my father and grandfather. And so, Hua Sect is the pride of Sanxi Province. And Haom Province. If you leave after taking the money with you, that's it. Because there are many places like the cave city, let you spend it. But where am I going when I get the money? I have lived in this world. To listen to such a heartwarming remark. But the fat guy just made a lame conclusion. He gave up such a large amount of money for such a trivial reason. I'm sure you'll regret it. I know that, but whether the saliva is burning this man's throat. He's still determined, even if you only want the money back at first. And you don't have to work for the rest of your life. But did not expect he could say words like that. After coming to this step, I must be crazy. But that, I've earned enough to live. Surprisingly, the shop owner confirmed. Even if you don't get the money back, I can also see it as a small regret for choosing not to take it. But if I make the mountain fall today, I'll regret it to my last breath. Even if I get the money, I can't use it all my life. And I don't want to live a life like that. He is a man of great beauty. Even if you're a little bit of a risk-averse, eat a lot. If the owner of the money, and even if it were to blame itself, the leader would give up. It is up to you to decide not to accept the money. It doesn't change anything. Who says there's only one person left? The creditor's name is slapped with a blow. Wake up the whole person. What are those lame pants? The crowd was moving from his side to his side. Immediately. Briefly, the number of people who allow deferrals has quadrupled. It's true that the philosopher's words carry infinite weight. He's been in charge of his entire loan career. This is the first time he's seen this damn thing. The director felt that the script seemed to go away compared to the original plan. But you can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Somewhat. I am very satisfied when there is still a keeper, meaningful connection with Hoa Sun, Fiend. As he said, he gave the order. Bring it here quickly. That makes those who agree to delay somewhat curious. Later, I saw my disciples carrying out an old crate. It's filled with quaint old books. When you see the title, even the devil must be afraid. Here it is. The King's Book. People on the side, the creditor's face is no longer a drop of blood. Straight hard throat. The chief's voice cracked to make it all go haywire. Hua Sect, I have been kind to you and your ancestors through many generations. But it seems that you have betrayed us. Instead of giving thanks, it's time to get rid of all the insects. The trees can grow. The leader knows what the leader is referring to. He must know best. The needle in the bag for a long time came out. The old man's indignant headmaster repeatedly shouted at the mess. Now base according to the book. Hua Sect, I will take over your business. As well as wealth. You've been building it up to now. To the last penny. The creditors couldn't believe their eyes. I was in a hurry to search all the evidence. Real fake test. The other half fought a mouth-to-mouth fight with an old man. Master, what are you talking about? Seize it all. Master, calm down, in front of these crazy people. That's what it is. Master, you're kidding me. The fat guy thinks he's stupid. Those chemicals that counterfeit paper, they should still laugh. But where does this seriousness go? I'm the head of a school. I really don't have time to mess with you. If the head of the school says so. The fate of a traitor, years of war in the marketplace, as he also flipped. This master. How do we know? Are these books real or fake? That suspicious look. Even if it's true, he had to change white for black. Now you are playing Cho Hoa-san. I didn't say there was food. Of course not. But it's also possible. I was fooled by these books. It's so blunt. Even the old man dared to drive out the enemy. If you said that, hurry up and call the Hong Kong governor back here. A moment later, an old man appeared. It seems that intellectuals appear. Ask Han about the fake financial records. This is something that needs careful consideration. The crystal seems abnormally tense. When the creditors, I refuse to admit my cheating. But wait, no one knows it's going to be exposed. They still believe that those books are just iron crumbs dug up from the ground to cover up everything. Even the old guard said the same thing. The owner is so wise. Suddenly, Master Hong interrupted. The voice is very dangerous. But that, I predicted these suspicions early on. So 2 days ago, Hoa Sun has sent half of the books to Hoa Yin to inspect. At this point, the creditor just broke out. Damn, they've been colluding for a long time. He's trapped, probably while he's not there. The soldiers are likely to have rushed. They've been in business since the 8th century. So all the traders are in the painting. What to do in a timely manner? He was mad to find out the truth. He wants everyone out of the water. So conspired to call people to this place. If it is only 2 days, there is still time to check. Although they said they delivered half of it. But I can't believe it. They must be lying. This book is probably out of use. Surely under the mountain, the soldiers are waiting to confiscate the whole of my shop. Think of it, his whole body is boiling. He did not hesitate to shout directly at the elder. Master of Kier. Shut up, these scoundrels dare to flip through his eyes. How long has it been? You're not in a position to speak now. Horses with flying birds with tarps. Those who are willing to stab you in the back. When there is an accident, it's not worthy of 2 friends. Everybody, go back. When you go back to the sound, that's when it's all over. The chief threatened that they're going to confiscate everything. It belongs to the paint. As for the hard work of the past, everyone is allowed to carry a chariot of wealth. That roll. The creditor's name near the angry voice. I'll never forget today's debt. Already said. He spun his ass and wanted the rope and the flower. Before the astonished eyes of those who remain, he left and packed his bags. Who just chose to defer to Hoa Sun. Silence without a word. I don't know if I should be sad or worried. For those who come last, I have not forgotten the meaning of paint. Although those business shops, property of Hoa Paint, it's a truth that can't be changed. Stuff of paint flower, of course, I will go back to the paint. The teacher's face came a little softer. But in the future, if you continue to operate the paint business, you will still receive a commensurate reward. We need to discuss this further. Please come inside. The owner of the shop felt a bit lost, even though it's better than the people clinging to the building. But just for a moment, from a shop owner downgraded to an employee, it's a little bit. But know how. If you eat salt, your life will be thirsty. You only know God, grandfather. What did you do? It's somewhere else. Some people like Middlebutt are still learning, due to the unsatisfactory decision of the what's left. Give them a carriage. This damn thing. They are all the property of Hoa Sun. Who gave you the right to give it to yourself? Seems he can't accept this stupid tolerance. Now the owners. The owner also packed everything down the mountain. Whose name does it write? Just as the master's words are filled. The only car. It's also a valuable asset inside. Not kidding. That's it. I still look at their faces like they're warm. Maybe they just came back down the mountain. I saw the soldiers occupy all of the business. If not for the master's help, then they were all escorted back to the palace. Thinking about it again and again, he still barked at the boss. If it's not swayed by his words, I didn't do this. The more he thought, the more blood he cried out. What are you going to do now? What do you say? You didn't say, you just had to trust him. Or why the boss is angry at you. How much valuable property was confiscated? I don't have time to hear from others. He's whistling. Now you're blaming me. He looked like a slow-motion bomb. Others have to respect it too. Stuttering mouth says nothing. I don't mean it. The owner has not finished speaking. You should stop to solve it once. Don't be a mess. We're just going to get away. Think about it. There's no question those books are real. It's all fake. It's all fake. To this country that he's still so strong. To ease the mouth of the world to give him a headache. However, other people on the street are also famous traders. It's not stupid to believe. They argue. Not those books. It has been received by the authorities. I've also looked at the content. It's a real thing. He must have paid a bribe to the governor. Before you go to the teeth. They dare to use their power to intimidate people. Then we have to rely on a greater power. To fight back. The plan seems good, but around, suddenly, a third person came in. It's so exciting. It was the black-faced thief who showed up the other night. It seems that the middle buttons are here to reclaim all their property. To get the boss in front of the crazy Ra. This mystical look. Who are you talking about? Who else is here besides me? That makes him even more difficult to understand. Squint your eyes. In the middle of the day, a man dressed as a thief appeared. Your back is a little too old or too young. I think he must be a beggar thief. So it looks like he's getting rid of him. Looks like these guys are targeting our property. But you should go back. Don't waste your life in this place. The Middle East heard two words, our property. From his rotten mouth, it's a mess. I'm not here to rob anyone. I just came to get my property back. His fucking wife dared to take it. The creditor came out a second time. My ears have just heard the words my property, SAO. Suddenly, he realized he was laughing. You are the man of the mountain. Then out of nowhere came a few more masked men dressed in black. Jumping from the trees on Khao Ra. It is very easy on the top of the mountain. I wanted to give you a fight too. They go in groups. Tall, smelly black, much bigger in the ass. This time it seems to be real. The leader of the dangerous colonel. It's as cool as a toilet. The robbers. Real like this, you don't need a show. And just jump in the punch. That's his first target. It's a small piece of meat, like a stick. Middle ass here. I'm afraid you'll steal the property. Of course, you're not shy. Even though SAO is also a fitness opportunity. If you like it, let me dance for a few basic lines to clear my eyes. You always close to the leader Chohat asked. He seems to be the bloodiest. But AI is so young that people are full of loopholes. Just a little bit, but he sent his strikers back to the motherland. Anyone who doesn't break his teeth has to move his chin. Later. Minute. No one dares to fight you anymore. That's a straight shot. Quickly destroy it. All the bandits. Gypsy natural storm out of the way. Now it's just between you and the creditors. It's unfinished. Let us finish and go home for a drink. You're staring at him with bullet-shaped eyes. But warn your child. You don't seem to understand very well. Ever since, all those who despise my words. There's not a single AI that's completely healed. Even if you are blind, you must also open your eyes and see clearly. The boss has a pale face. Flowering paint that there is still a person like this Sao. On the side of the road, bandits, they don't manage their own business anymore. Get up and leave in a hurry. The old man tried to reconcile. I really don't understand. Why would a man like you hide his identity? But if Hoa-san had a person like this, I didn't fall into this situation. But you showed up at the wrong time. His voice suddenly changed the mood. A faint light gradually appeared. Today you will die at my hands. See this as a message. I want to send it to your master. One like the one who died at my hands. The master will be very hurt. What is this? His appearance is no longer that of a merchant. Courteous but powerful. No different than a martial artist. Go to hell. But in the face of the middle butt, still despised. I know right away. You must also have one. It's something that has the temperament of an active innkeeper. Don't worry, I'll try to avoid hitting you in the mouth. I told you, this time, you really drew your sword. Looks like he's worth it. You have to choose this iron sword. That's how you move your lips, right? A loud explosion echoed through the forest. Caused by the rich man Kier. He slammed his hand to the ground. Martial arts students also have an immutable principle. It's never to be ignored. Never be despised. Not expected. This fat guy has a lot of internal resources. And here and there. When a tiger catches a rabbit, it needs nothing. Only very reluctantly, the tiger must use all its power. Especially when faced with someone. He defeated all his people. The less subjective it is. He stared in his ass. I'm thinking about something in my head. But that boastful attitude. I have to fix this for you right away. He finished with 2 punches. That's several times the strength of the soldiers in black. My ass is not worried. However is. His opponent is not a mediocre class. Middle butt using the hilt of the sword to stop the powerful Kier punch. The man's eyes were about to go into despair. Try my best, pushing the opponent's sword a little. In the end, it's self-betrayal. He stopped his straight punch. My inner circle is betrayed. He shook his hand and said he was too slow. We'd better stop here. If you keep going like this, maybe you won't be able to hold your finger anymore. I see you despise him, and he's mad all over his head. So he decided to change the direction of the attack. Internal force to the left leg. Benefit chemical. The leper's foot, the blow was as sharp as a razor blade. Flying straight towards the middle of the butt. Terrorist kick. Its range is 3 times longer than your body. Then it's hard to avoid. But it was the main male. Do these situations grow even more wings? The man knows he missed. You can't see the enemy going away. Suddenly, a black shadow behind him rose. Even though the body is a bit big, but the reaction is also very quick. He turned right back. Muscle dislocation. It's just that the core is not intact. They can't implement the law. I told you, your fingers will sleep first. The man trembled because he was too fast. Or because he's too strong. It's not. The masked man is neither fast nor strong. If you look at his appearance, even 10 people like that, I can still cope. The old man himself was injured, but still persistent. They still despise the enemy. He continues to attack unconsciously. Just hit and comment. But until now, I couldn't even touch the hem of his shirt. Even though he is slow, but he's always moving in the right direction, the most reasonable location, correctly and perfectly. There's no superfluous movement. He even looks like a goblin. He can read all his tricks. It's a real monster. It's so unpredictable. How strong is he? I can't speak in a tired voice anymore. I want to play with you for a while. But I'm a little tired now. Why a man like you? You've been hiding all this time. You are silent yet to answer. Put your sword on your shoulder and ask him what to do. You guys have a magic mind, always under the illusion of power. If you ask, I have to answer for sure. You should ask those who are able to answer for him. A master who has martial arts at this level SAO. What to do with martial arts like this? You are the owner of the building. Or traders in Hua Yin today. The fat man asked the opposite question. What you mean is, if there is a martial art, you can't be the owner. Of course, your level. If you are not a manager, there are many ways to make money. That? What are you talking about? The old man doesn't he understand? Your ass can talk to him. We have no conspiracy or wrongdoing here. They don't take orders from AI. All of this, it's my own personal thing. Are you going to say these words? The old man nodded. That's right. You laugh, monkey, monkey. I know right away, it's normal. There's no light at all. Well, the problem here is, if I wanted to extract information from someone like you, so what do we do? You just point your hand in the face and ask. The whole thing asked me. Chinese Cotton clasped her hand tightly. What is it? He seemed to understand even more. Though SAO, you hard-mouthed people will die at my hands. That's why we can compromise with each other. Don't you ever say, Ra. Because you didn't say. That's enough to satisfy me. The old man spreads his two legs defensively. He's targeting his left knee. At this speed, I can't stop it. Who would have expected Chu's ass to swing a stick? He threw a pain in his shoulder. His shoulders were clearly aimed at his knees. How to become a roll again? He helped people fall down. Just saw the opponent swinging a sword in the middle of his forehead. This time he's going to come down from above. He put his hand in front of his forehead. It's still the old situation. The sword is aimed at another location. This time in the neck. The buttocks used only the hilt of the sword to wound him. I have no intention of killing this old man. Can't resist or can't defend. He hugged her and hurried back. It's clearly visible. But his silhouette kept on ignoring. I couldn't avoid a blow. Consecutive blows banged into fat bodies. That's it. Like this, he's really going to die. Look into his eyes. Demon killer. The eyes of the man who killed countless people. Middle buttocks pull out the sword. I don't sweat. I can only recite the Buddha. No, I don't want to die. The middle buttocks are slowly approaching. You use all your strength to prepare to end the war. A ferocious shockwave was unleashed afterwards. A few seconds later, everything returned to silence. Maybe he's been executed. No, he's alive. He is the one who created. It was a shockwave at the time. Aim right at the middle of the ass and kill the poor. Middle buttocks just sit low. Nothing happened inside. You look at him in front of you. The middle butt asked the rich man casually. The owner of the building in Hoa Dim. The first person in assigning debts to paint flowers. I happen to know martial arts. The South sent him later. He was worried, damn it. Maybe even an antique knife. I also can't show it. God is right. Especially when facing yourself. He is from Hoa Sun. How could I make a fatal mistake like this? I was also beaten so much. I'm not awake anymore. He suddenly swung his sword from above. It's hard to surprise myself. Otherwise, there is no way I would use it. The gods are really unpredictable. The mind of this masked man. The middle buttocks asked the natural whole. He was silent.